Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with another installment of the Beyond Report, covering the happenings of the Spider-Man Beyond story arc month by month, as there's generally at least 4 tie-ins per month, if not more. Anyway, kicking things off, we're going to start off with the 3 actual issues of Amazing Spider-Man that came out last month, and then, or supposed to come out last month, I should say, and then move on to the tie-ins. Kicking things off, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 86. So, in number 87, or number 85, Spider-Man, Ben Reilly, fought Dr. Octopus over a mysterious drive at another Beyond Corporation building, which he seemingly... and things weren't looking good for Ben as the issue ended. So we begin with Ben in therapy with Dr. Kafka. He recently accidentally caused a fire in a 150-year-old building, and basically they want to make sure everything's okay with him. But he states he's had a lot on his mind about his place in the company. And Dr. Kafka asks why that came up. And we find out that after the fight with Dr. Octopus, Ben took the drive and gave it to Janine and told her that they were lying, that Beyond was lying to them. But we learn that Dr. Kafka doesn't trust Beyond either, and she claims to have barely managed to negotiate privacy for her therapy sessions. Of course, it turns out that she was lied to, but Janine ends up taking the drive. But it turns out that perhaps Ben's memories have been tampered with. He doesn't remember when he took on the mantle of the Jackal, and among other things, other people brought back or cloned Dr. Kafka, bringing her, basically returning her to life. But as their conversation continues, Maxine Danger, the Beyond CEO, uses uses a sonic device to take down Peter, or to take down Ben, and then, wipe his memory. Janine, meanwhile, takes Marcus prisoner and insists that he take her out of the building. Among the things that is wiped from Ben's memory is his conversation he had with Dr. Octopus about Beyond's complicity and everything that's been going on. But things seem to go sideways, and rather than demolishing through the memories that Beyond would prefer Ben not have, it causes the entirety of his memory to destabilize and collapse. Number 8. Now moving on to Amazing Spider-Man number 87, which picks back up with Peter Parker. So Peter's doing better, but he's wanting to get back into the swing of things, and two people come together to help him. Two very, very different people that could not be more different. Captain America and the Black Cat. And they're going to basically retrain Peter as to be Spider-Man. Elsewhere, Ben has recovered from memory collapse. He's going through the various Spider-Man villains, make sure he remembers them. But turns out Peter is rather out of practice, but he's getting better. Meanwhile, Maxine has a conversation with Dr. Kafka, basically saying that with her being a clone, well, yeah, she's in a rather precarious situation human rights-wise. And that if Dr. Kafka is not going to play ball, well, Beyond will find a use for her. But Black Cat and her crew get to meet Cap. Bruno is, of course, impressed, and Cap lays on, Cap's Cap. But Spider-Man asks what the training exercise is, and Black Cat explains they had to catch the crooks because Black Cat and her crew just robbed the place they were at. So of course, Cap and Spidey give chase. But Peter's getting better. But we learned that quite a bit has been erased from Ben's memories, including, well, the mantra by which Spider-Man exists. With great power, there must also come great responsibility. You can't remember that last part. As the issue ends, shortly after the events of the Mary Jane and Black Cat Beyond one-shot, Mary Jane comes home to find Janine waiting for her and in possession of the drive. That's where number 87 ends. Which brings us to Amazing Spider-Man number 88. Which introduces, I want to say, our first truly new villain. Well, I say truly new. It's a Goblin, it's a Spider-Man villain. That's not exactly new territory. But Queen Goblin is a new Goblin, at least. So, Beyond, Ben's feeling rather down because Janine's gone. Maxine assuring him that they'll find her. And wanting to talk to Marcus about how she got loose. He did try to insist that maybe letting them go wasn't the best idea, but he tried to send a signal, but Jenny had a knife to his throat. They got a couple blocks away. He gave her some money, and then she was gone. But Maxine gets her first look at Queen Goblin, and MJ has taken Janine to the Daily Bugle to talk to Glory Grant about the drive. Spider-Man is being sent out, but again, a lot of his mind's been kind of rewritten, so to speak. While talking with Marcus, Maxine kind of explains the entire concept of beyond having a superhero. Referred to as the Halifax Protocol. Named after a man named Jason Halifax, CEO of a big oil company, built a super mansion in Broxton, Oklahoma. There were some rumors that some horrible things were going on at the mansion. Bodies, cops taped it off. Oil company put a statement, and then before it could really become a big, huge public deal, Norman Osborn attacked Asgard a mile and a half away from the mansion. Sentry threw a tank at Thor. Lightning, the Void. Also, the Void ripped Ares in half. And I do mean ripped in half. Like, down the middle. The Halifax house was wiped off the face of the earth. And nobody cared. Because of the Sentry and Thor. She said the superhero thing is fun. They get to give back to the community, corporate charity, magazine covers, pass them back. But they sell products. And when Marcus asks her if it's just smoke, the division is just smoke, she explains that it's a Beyond branded meta product that controls the news cycle and can make people, buildings, hopefully continents eventually, disappear, no questions asked, for anyone who needs it and can pay. Having it laying around for situations like cleaning up Beyond messes concerning Beyond doesn't hurt either. But Marcus makes a good point. You know, superheroes are, yeah, it's one thing to superheroes, but you need supervillains too. Which is where Queen Goblin comes in. First thing she does when she's brought online, so to speak, is she kills the crew that created her. And then heads to the Daily Bugle, where she attacks Janine and Mary Jane. Before Spider-Man shows up. The two of them duke it out. Though seemingly, Queen Goblin knows Ben. And Ben knows her. However, the drive, Janine tries to keep the drive safe, but she drops it, and then Queen Goblin stomps on it, smashing it. After incapacitating her, Ben swings away with Janine, and when, as they do so, as he leaves, he tells Mary Jane, who has informed Ben that Queen Goblin's getting up, that Queen Goblin getting up isn't their problem. Leaving Mary Jane at the tender mercy of the Goblin Queen. And that is where the issue ends. So we got ourselves a couple of tie-ins. First up is Mary Jane and Black Cat Beyond, which takes place during the events of issue 87. This was a fun little one-shot. Black Cat goes to visit Peter, only to find Parker Robbins, formerly known as the Hood, sitting in the hospital room with MJ and Peter. He explains that he wants his, well, Hood back. Felicia, being quick on her feet, manages to at least come up with a way to get MJ out of Robbins' crosshairs by saying that she's part of her crew. but they've got till sunup to get his hood back. That said, the Black Cat's plan was basically to get MJ away from the hood, but MJ's not having it. She means to help. So, now, the Hood lost his hood during the events of the Hawkeye Freefall miniseries, thanks to a deal that he made with Count Nefaria. So, Black Cat goes to speak to Nefaria, interrupting his movie night. But bringing MJ along with them, meaning that, which makes the interruption quite alright by Nefaria's standards, that he gets to just talk to a movie star. The two of them then take on all the various villains that were involved in the conclusion of Hawkeye Freefall. Mr. Fear, the Rhino, the Enforcers, the Armadillo, Shocker. There's still one they have to deal with. Tombstone. And so, they break into Tombstone's safe and steal a duffel bag. That is, a duffel bag shaped demon. Also, Black Cat has Mary Jane suit up as herself, as Black Cat. At the hospital, Black Cat shows up wearing Parker's hood. Robbins gets his eponymous bit of piece of wardrobe back, only to discover that something's wrong. See, the demon, the duffel bag shaped demon, got a taste for the hood after eating the hood itself, but it wanted the whole meal, so it consumes Parker. And Peter briefly wakes up to see both Mary Jane and Black Cat in Black Cat costumes and kind of says, "Oh, this dream again." But they talk about their issues with one another, namely the fact that Black Cat doesn't like the fact that she kind of feels like she's the footnote in Spider-Man's life, the bad girl. And but Mary Jane basically explains she used to be the bad girl, partying all the time, getting into trouble. And Black Cat, and Mary Jane says to Black Cat, ever tried to live up to the memory of a dead girl? And Mary Jane doesn't much like Black Cat, but she at least acknowledges that Fleece is important to Peter, and in fact, important to her too. MJ wouldn't have put her life in Black Cat's hands if she wasn't. And then they crack a joke about how does Spider-Man, a nerd like Spider-Man, pull girls like him? MJ's theory is he keeps getting beat up all the time. It's a pity thing. And that is where the issue ends. Honestly, this has been probably one of my favorite tie-ins to the entire Beyond story. And it honestly just felt like it was an issue of the old Black Cat ongoing, crossing over with Amazing Spider-Man, or at least tying in. But yeah, anyway, our last tie-in is Miles Morales Spider-Man number 34. Where we left off, Miles and Shift were on the trail of the Assessor, who may or may not be associated with the Beyond Corporation. Spoiler, he is. They came upon what appears to be the Assessor's headquarters. They break in, deal with various robots, but continue to make their way through until eventually coming upon the Assessor. Well, first Quantum, and then the Assessor. But one thing that's different from Miles' previous runs with the Assessor is this time he's not alone. And Miles and Shift work together. When the Assessor actually arrives, he issues a supplement report. Service terms have been rendered void. Subject 00-42 and assets shipped assessed access company facilities without authorization and will be liquidated immediately. And that is where our issue ends. I'm glad that they're having Miles' book tie in with Beyond, with the Beyond story. I think it's. I have to admit, it's amusing how tying the two in, or tying it in, kind of started off. But yeah, I'm glad it's also harkening back to some of the previous arcs in the Miles story. But anyway, that's it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.